Hello, hope everybody had a great holiday season. I am now here to spoil your gifts. Jason Weigandt here. Look, after Christmas, after New Year's, Supercross fans have something to look forward to, unlike the long slog through the real winter that most people deal with. We have gifts under the tree normally come Anaheim or wherever the Supercross opener is. This year it's actually in Anaheim. And we're always excited because of hashtag deep field and anybody could win, and this is going to be the year of parity. I got bad news. I'm going to spoil it. I'm going to spoil the gifts right here. We're not going to have that many winners. We're not. There is absolutely no statistic that points to the fact that we're going to have a year with the 10 winners or 11 winners or 12 winners in 17 rounds that we always think we're going to get. Now, that makes it difficult for someone like me, a journalist in the sport, because if you were to ask me point blank, who is going to win races this year, I would have to be Mr. Negative Nancy and say that most of the riders that you think could win probably won't. Because I have the numbers to back it up. Here we go. We had 5 winners in 2012, 5 in 2013, 5 in 2014, 6 in 2015, 4 in 2016, 5 in 2017, 4 different winners in 2018, and 5 winners each of the last 3 seasons. We've also run through some stats. You could check it out on our RacerX online preview show on that YouTube channel, also a magazine story I just wrote. Over the last 3 seasons, although it has felt like it has had great depth, although it has felt like it has had great parity, although it has not felt at all like the dominant days of Jeremy McGrath or Carmichael Stewart-Reed, it actually kind of is statistically, because Cooper Webb, Eli Tomac, and Ken Roczen have won 84% of the races the last 3 years. 84. Furthermore, most of their wins, the other guys only get them in the weirdo races, like the opener where Justin Barcia's won 3 in a row, or round 2 where Blake Baggett snuck in a win a couple of years ago, or the next to last round last year where Marvin Musquin snuck in a win. You know, the opening round, riders are always a little bit nervous. Maybe they don't ride to their full potential late in the season. The best riders that are battling for the championship are usually riding a little bit conservative. So that leads to different winners. The heart of the season, the middle of the season, yeah, Roczen, Tomac, and Webb have been winning them all for the last 3 years. 6 winners is the max that we've seen in the last 10 seasons. 6 different winners in 2015. That was a dominant season in the end for Ryan Dungey. Ken Roczen started the year off strong with a couple of wins. Kennard, Tomac, Reed, Seeley, those were the winners that year. 6 winners. 6 winners. So if we know we're only going to probably get 5, maybe get 6, worst case scenario get 4 this year, who are those winners going to be? That is really odd. How could we possibly come up with a list with so few winners? You would think that Webb, Roczen, and Tomac could still win races. Again, they've won 84% over the last 3 years. Obviously, things change in a hurry in this sport. Someone could get hurt. Any one of them could suddenly be over the hill or have a major terrible season or a big problem. Maybe they're not going to win this year, but I have my doubts. Let's just say those 3 win. Now we're down to 2 other winners? Maybe 3? Barcia's usually good for 1. Musquin's still in there. People are pumped on Chase Sexton and Malcolm Stewart and Aaron Plessinger, Dylan Ferrandis. It's unbelievable how many riders that could win. It seems almost impossible that all of those riders will not. Yet that's what the stats seem to indicate. So let's go a little deeper and see how the races have been won the last couple of seasons. Why does it feel like so many riders can win, but in the end, only a handful actually do? Well, as I said, that 84% number the last 3 years, the other riders that have won are kind of veterans. Barcia's won a couple, Musquin's won a couple. Osborne and Baggett snuck one in there. But these are veteran guys who have won a lot in their career. I don't think they're as intimidated by the likes of Tomac, Webb, Roczen as others on the gate. If you're Baggett, you've been racing the likes of Tomac your entire life. I don't think you're afraid of him. We remember the famous father argument many years ago. If you're Musquin, you had won a lot of races in your career. Barcia had won races in his career. Osborne had been through hell. He slept in a tent in Russia once. I don't think he gets as nervous when he's getting run down by the best riders in the series. Everyone else, outside of maybe Jason Anderson, who's been there, done it, but at this point, Anderson, it's been a long time, and he'll probably be thinking about it down the stretch. Everyone else on that gate is going to be going for a first win, a big breakthrough win, the type of win that gets you nervous. Talked to Aaron Plessinger about that a couple of weeks ago when Red Bull KTM had their team intro, and he even admitted when he was leading in Atlanta, every lap that clicked off, he was thinking, is tonight going to be the night? Is tonight going to be the night? You can't think that. But you cannot. You're trying to win your first Supercross race. Really difficult to ignore the obvious that you're trying to win your first Supercross race, right? So that's really the key. All of these riders who have not done it before, the likes of Stewart, the likes of Plessinger, the likes of Sexton, the likes of Cianciarulo, somehow they have to not think that they're doing something for the first time when they actually are. And that's why industry veterans, such as the famous Mitch Payton, have always said sometimes you have to get that first win on accident under weirdo circumstances, and then you understand how it works, and then the rest come a lot easier. And that's kind of how a lot of those wins tend to come. Early in the season when everyone's nervous and not riding to their best potential. Late in the year when the other riders are focused on the championship. Let's think about the final round last year. Chase Sexton had that opportunity. He was gone, folks, because Cooper Webb was riding conservatively for the title and Ken Roczen was riding uncustomarily aggressive, even bunching Webb a little bit early on, and they were holding each other up. Webb finally gave him a little contact and took off. Webb had zero incentive to go win the race, so we would think, but that's only because no one ever mentions that the riders get well over $100,000 for a race win bonus, so that is some incentive. And Webb decided to go for it, and he caught Sexton, and he beat him in a race where it looked like Sexton was just going to be able to freely cruise and win. But it didn't happen, and although Webb is a very salty type, a very cerebral rider, a very strategic rider, I don't think even he was thinking this deeply. I think he just wanted to win. I think he just wanted the bonus money. But what he also did was prevent Sexton from getting that breakthrough win at the finale when these breakthrough wins usually tend to happen. It happened for Zach Osborne a year earlier because Eli Tomac was nervously trying to cruise home with his first title in 2020. So the door was open. Webb and Roczen had given up. They weren't riding very hard. The title was done for them. Jason Anderson probably would have won it, but his seat fell off. And that allowed Osborne to get that win. And what did it do for Osborne? He goes down and wins the Lucas Oil Pro Motocross Championship a few months later. That one win can do amazing things. To win in Supercross, in the Premier Class, in a stadium, even has fans. Doesn't have fans in the case of Osborne. Bottom line is this. Sexton was this close to getting it, and he did not get it. I don't think Webb is that strategic, but it probably helped Webb quite a bit this year. It's going to just make it that much harder for Sexton to get that first one this year. And when you see these stories of riders leading for a while but getting nervous, it leads me to one of my theories. When a rider leads and they lose the lead late in the race, it looks like, well, they just aren't in good enough shape, right? You ever go out and run really hard? You ever go out and jog? Ever go out and just walk? Effort matters. And when you're trying to win for the first time, or maybe you're riding at an exceptionally high level, that takes more energy. You know that riders that have been there and done it in early laps are probably that much less freaked out about the surroundings. If they get into the lead or if they're in second and there's a manageable gap in front of them, they're probably that much less nervous, have that much less anxiety. They're probably riding well within their comfort zone to a degree. Obviously, at the highest level, everyone's pushing hard. But that might be the difference. Maybe it's 3 or 4% more relaxed than a rider that's won a lot of races, like an Eli Tomac, or a Cooper Webb, or a Ken Roczen, or a Marvin Musquin. These guys have been there, they've done it. Maybe that makes them that much more relaxed. So then you do that math, being that much more relaxed for 20 minutes. You've been there. You're not frazzled. You're not wondering, is tonight going to be the night? What's going to happen to this track? How are these final laps going to play out? You're not wondering about that anymore. I think that makes a difference. It's not really a fitness thing. It just looks that way. It's just the experienced guys can get it done. And when you look at the other winners of the races last year, you had Justin Barcia, who is as good as any, dealing with pressure, and he has been there, done that. Round 1, he has Ken Roczen all over him. You really think Barcia's bothered by Ken Roczen or anyone? And then round 16 last year, Musquin leads. He has Cooper Webb all over him. Musquin has beaten Webb before. Musquin's won plenty of races. I'm sure he was worried about Webb being behind him, but you could presume he was probably less worried about having Webb behind him than any other rider on the track might have been. And he managed to pull it off. So that's really what we're looking for as we go into this season. How many of those new riders can act like they've already been there when they're under pressure to try to get it done? It's not going to be that many. 6 total winners max is about all we get. And you're not going to get enough weirdo races for them to win races without those scenarios. Mud races or nervous openers or a race where everybody goes down in the first turn, or maybe there's a season where a bunch of guys get hurt. I don't know. Those types of circumstances don't tend to happen much. Which means when you look at our list this year and think that the Ferrandis, Sexton, Cianciarulo, Plessinger, I can't even go on with the list, then add to the guys that have won races last year like Musquin and Barsha and Webb and Tomac and Roxon, and we get up to 10 riders, that's not going to happen. Half of those 10 probably aren't going to win. 6 max, 5 on average, 4 worst case scenario. How could that scenario be? We have so much talent on the gate. Hashtag deep field, Monster Energy Supercross. Get your tickets now. Just expect at the end of the night, when you actually look at the results, it's probably going to be the same riders winning most of the races. That doesn't mean it's not going to look exciting. That doesn't mean that we're not going to go into Anaheim 1 very excited about how many riders could win. It feels different than the numbers actually show, right? I wonder why that is. I'll get into that in my next video. Why does there feel like there's all this parity, even if the numbers don't actually indicate it? But the numbers don't lie. You're looking at 5 winners, maybe 6, in 2022.